Hello, everyone. It's really good to be with you here today. Thank you so much for viewing this discussion board. My name is Jaron Snavely, and the article that I have chosen for today was John Winthrop's City of Women by Laurel Thatcher Ulrich in the Massachusetts Historical Review. And if I had to encapsulate this article into a few sentences, it would be to show how the Puritan New England, the society was crumbling at the seams. And it looks through John Winthrop's diary as a vessel to show how he was attempting to hold everything together, even though the Puritan society was coming away apart at the seams. And the first thing we can focus on two main things in my research that are really pertinent in this article. And it was the idea that of spiritual depravity was depriving people from the joy and the ambition to be able to continue as a society. The Puritans really focused a ton upon how the spiritual and how God had spoken spiritually in way by natural occurrences, such as earthquakes were a reckoning to see how God was judging the world, or someone would be judged by their potential promiscuous attitude by a stillbirth, or Anne Hutchinson's and Mary Dyer's monsters that they were given birth to. And so what this did is it created a state of depravity where people were spiritually depressed. And Jonathan Beecher illustrates that this type of extremism in the way of theological beliefs did not make it a conducive society to continue in a religious way. And this is one of the ways that it died out. The religion died out, and it was broken into other factions. Another thing that is pertinent in this article that I think that I should mention, and based on my research this is important, is the idea of family governance. There was an inherent contradiction within it. So, for example, women during this time were encouraged to read the Bible, to develop a theological framework for how to think, and even in some certain circles, to debate and to give out ideas to their husbands and to their household. And this was all a part of the rearing children, and women were very celebrated in this culture. However, when it came to religious differences between wives and husbands, there was some conflict. Cheryl Smith talks about in another story, the story of Joshua Varon, where his wife wanted to attend a certain congregation of a theological belief, and he would not have that. And eventually there was a trial that was taking place, and there was a split between the people in Providence, Rhode Island. And the ordinances of Providence, Rhode Island allowed for freedom of speech and freedom of association. However, it also dictated that men could, and which is what John Winthrop agreed with, that men could dictate how the women in their lives should be able to worship. So because there was this contradiction between women should be celebrated and women should have their opinions, but only some of their opinions should be had in certain circumstances, there created friction between here. And then also too, when you will advocate for freedom of expression and freedom of association, but it's only allowed to be in one particular way, there's going to cause conflict. And eventually people like Anne Hutchinson and Mary Dyer, as in my research, have broken free from that and gave a very big following. Another thing that it was to mention too is that the idea of if new ideas were not propagated and people, if they were reading scripture, could not come with their own interpretations. This was called an infection. And because of the veneer and the really structured sense of it, it really short-circuited, and you were not able to espouse a lot of ideas or new ideas based on theological concepts, because the idea of stability within the religious community was so important. So these are three ideas that I gained from here, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much.